Okay, MICAI comes from a Mexican International Conference on Artificial Intelligence. And for the Mexican community in artificial intelligence, was a very large milestone when this was for the first time organized in 2001, something like that, because it was the first large conference devoted to artificial intelligence in Mexico. And also it was the first time that Sociedad Mexicana de Inteligencia Artificial joined several other smaller seminars or conferences, but smaller, and then they decided to join in one larger conference. And another important thing is that for the first time, all the proceedings were published by Springer, which gave to this new conference larger audience around the world. And I think for all the Mexicans here, it was also the first time that we had the opportunity to publish in this important editorial through one conference that in that time it was ours. So I think is very important, still a very important Congress, which is the attractor to many other scientists around the world. Well, before I mention about the time I was the president, I'd like to mention that this was the first time that MICAI was organized. I attended with my first paper there. It was in Acapulco, and it was very important because I was finishing a postdoc stay in Italy. So we have a new research that I did during the time I was there, and at the Istituto Internazionale per gli Alti Studi Scientifici in Vietri sul Mare, Italia. And when I saw that there was this new conference, the first thing that I thought it was, I have to send it there. So I came to the first conference. It was very large that time. It was a success, very large success. And and then my wisdom was to do anything to preserve this kind of organization and to continue with the organization of the conference. So when it was my turn to be the president, well, at the beginning, I was not even at the SMIA. So later on, I joined the SMIA, and eventually I became secretary, vice president, and then president. And at least during the time I was the president, well, before, when I was the vice president, the president was Ángel Curi, who was devoted to make this conference with the same magnitude that it was organized the first times, because during that time it had a kind of decay. When I was a secretary, we had to even make a kind of survival operation, because during 1 year we thought that we had lost the year without being able to organize the conference. So with Ángel Curi as a secretary and then as a vice president, he made a lot of efforts to make it a large conference again. So when my time arrived, I did the same and try to do a large conference with the same quality, the same kind of guests. And in the two editions that I had the opportunity to preside, we have very, very good results. It was the last time that during the same event, we were able to give the books that were published by Springer. The following edition, they were not able to give the books because the books were sent further on. But they were not able to give the books at the same time. So those are important things that I remember about Mikai, besides some other actions that I did during my presidency. Well, I think the community has grown to be a very, very respectful community, even around the world. And there are many new developers, new scientists that were formed at the graduate schools around Mexico, and we were the professors at that time, and now we are surrounded by a very large community of new and young developers and scientists and researchers and academics, and by now I think we are coming to have the critical mass to do a very large explosion, because the quality of those new guys is very, very, very good. I think all the older community did a very good job with these new generations, and even there are many that were prepared in foreign countries. So now there is a very interesting mixture, combining what we prepare with the new researchers that were prepared in foreign universities. So the future is very promising. I think we are now looking at very good results. We had very recently the seminar called SMIA, which is a seminar, and we invited only young people, which what they show was a very, very good curriculum and very good projects and very good research topics. So we are completing all the areas of the artificial intelligence field. And I think we have to cover all of them to be competitive compared to other countries. But at least in Latin America, I think we are, if not the first place, we are the second place compared to Brazil. But we are following very close to this, to the first world countries, and we want to be there in one moment. And we think that we follow this path, we are going to be competing to them in a very in the same field, I think. Well, that's part of what I mentioned before, because I was talking about the future with these new generations. So when their work is recognized by more or larger audiences, like in another countries, new conferences around the world and another universities, we have to show that we are competitive at that level, not only in Mexico, but also compared to more developed countries. So if we are able to fill all the gaps that we have in areas that we don't cover now, but I think the new generation of new scientists is covering all the fields. Well, at least I have the experience in this last seminar or the seminars SMIA, where we are showing that we are covering all those fields. And I think in MICAI in this year also most of the areas of artificial intelligence are covered. So if we are able to do that, we are giving the first steps to position our country like a research country with very competitive projects and very competitive new developments. And we are then arriving to adding value to all what we do. And we are also approaching the independence in the technological field, where we are now paying everything we use. So that's what when we approached that step, and we were able to achieve our independence. We are gonna say that then that we succeed, and that our new generations are helping to do that. Okay, I'd like to invite to all the community, students, academics, researchers, and general people that interested in artificial intelligence to join the activities of MICAI 2020, which this year promises to be a very, very interesting conference. One good thing that for the audience is going to be free. So it's not so usual. MICAI always charges some money, not this time. And you are going to be able to attend conferences by specialists in all the fields of artificial intelligence, and many works that are now in the laboratories and doing by new students, and some other projects already finished, which are very interesting, and also which be very important for the future of our country. So it is a good time investment if you attend this conference, starting by attending Wille today, beginning at 3 p.m., which is the workshop on intelligent learning environments. So it's going to be a good beginning, and I hope this is going to be a very good week for all of us.